Preacher Doc's expose videos number 2. This one is especially thus Homo Hoover. Crimes by Homo Hoover. 1. Appears he was a bent over for politicians fellow, and he was given this FBI power position to cover up for what's called a Teapot Dome scandal. 2. He gave Dugout Doug MacArthur the inside info so Dugout Doug could smash the World War I vets' tent city. The vets were camped. They needed their money and were protesting about their overdue bonus. Some were killed, many injured, and they were forced out into the street. 3. Representative traveled to Washington, D.C. to give a speech exposing Homo Hoover and saying the fellow should be replaced. When the train pulled into Washington, D.C. train station, he suddenly died before he could get off the train. 4. Melvin Purvis, FBI hero, was being asked to replace Homo Hoover. When he agreed, before he could replace Homo Hoover got him out of the FBI. He was found shot dead. Homo Hoover ruled it a suicide. Mrs. Purvis bitterly complained that Purvis did not commit suicide, and thus that woman hater Homo Hoover ruled illegally and incorrectly. 5. In a party to celebrate my and etc. success for this Super Manhattan project that we were beginning with great hopes, in my opinion, at this party, it was, to me, such a surprise and an insult that this fellow was a homo fellow. So I stormed out, and therefore I was operating at the highest level, but Hoover and I had at least a personality clash. I thought this Homo Hoover should be replaced. 6. Homo Hoover committed all types of crimes to use, abuse, and then to discard yours truly. 7. What an asterisk. Criminally insane Homo Hoover experimented Americans to death, men, women, and young people. Homo Hoover, the woman hater, even experimented to death women, of course men, and even youngsters because he was a pedophile. 8. I can prove that I conferred with an Irish lawyer and I told him these true facts. He not only agreed, to my surprise, said, I have been a lawyer in this city of Washington, D.C. for many years. It's time for somebody to get that expletive swearing out. I know some illegal things about that cussing that I politely call Homo Hoover, that even you don't know. That was on a Monday. He said, well, I'll get everything done. You see how crowded my desk is? I'll get everything done, and then you come in Friday after 5 o'clock, and we'll begin the legal proceedings. Thus, cussing words, Hoover. Knowing criminally insane Homo Hoover is ever faster, more vicious, cutting down anybody that tried to get that criminally insane pedophile fired or replaced. I called late Wednesday to see if this courageous attorney was okay. His brother answered the phone and said that the courageous attorney was dead. Dead. I talked to him Monday, and he was in good health and spirits. His brother said, I talked to him yesterday. He had no complaints and was in good health. I had to rush back here, and everything around here is a rush. They tell me he will be buried Friday. Friday afternoon was when the courageous attorney and I were to begin drawing up this legal proceedings, thus Homo Hoover. 9. Homo Hoover was the power to have President JFK assassinated. Assassinated is the polite political science word of murder. And of course was the cover-up investigator who ruled it was per this magic bullet. 10. Homo Hoover was the power to have Reverend Martin Luther King murdered. Reverend King was publicly saying Hoover must be replaced. 11. I have absolute proof Homo Hoover was the power to have Senator to be president and would have fired Homo Hoover, Robert Kennedy murdered. Absolute proof. 12. Meanwhile, yours truly barely is surviving death-defying supposed accidents. Governor George Wallace is the front runner and in gaining support. Asked if he would fire Hoover, this Homo Hoover fellow, he said he would replace Hoover. Within 4 days, Governor Wallace was gunned down and out of the race. Until that time, he was predicted to gathering more support and would win. What the courageous attorney was going to put in the legal complaint, he never had the chance to write. One of them may have been about many illegal things he knew about. And one of them was forged papers concerning who this Homo who really was and was doing. If you go into the internet, you will find 1,000 about this Homo Hoover. Millie McGee, a California school teacher, she proves that Homo Hoover, a vicious anti-black bigot, was that way to cover up that he is a pass for white, which I suspected, but I wouldn't go into that issue. And her relatives claim Homo Hoover killed at least one of them who tried to bring out that true fact to the public. No, these are what I know and survived, barely. There are 1,000 on the internet, some of eyewitnesses' documentations. And thus I say, this is Preacher Doc who says to the believers, thank you.